matter.
stigma in the black community against criticizing Muslims?
Yes. In fact, quiet as kept, Muslims to this day are enslaving black people in Africa. It was Muslims are the reason why we blacks are here in America today. Not because of what Christians, white people did to us.
Weren't those slave traders white men from Europe?
No, they were Muslims.
Arab slave traders.
Blacks and Muslims. The slave trade was going on long before white people, Christians or Jews even showed up. In fact, from 700 AD, from what I can research, go Google this stuff up. 18 million blacks were taken out of Africa into the eastern parts of Arabia and the East and so forth and so on. 18 million, whereas the whites and Christians bought about 13 million from the black and Muslim slave traders in the West African slave trade. But you never hear about that. You never hear that part. All you hear is what whites, Christians, and Jews did. The fault of white Christians and Jews is that they disobeyed the Torah. And for the love of money, to make profit, they abandoned what they had forsaken in Europe and took on the curse of Africa by buying slaves. But they did not capture. In fact, Henry Louis Gates has a new book. And apparently he is saying, something I've been saying, that over 90% of the slave trade in West Africa was black people and Muslims. Not white people, only 10% whites.
And
so you don't hear that kind of talk. But it's going to have to come out now with all this media information sharing. Everybody now can look in everybody's backyard. We can no longer hide the fact that Muslims are the primary reason why West Africans are in the United States.
Became slaves.
And not in the United States, but in Mexico, Central America, South America. 94% of the slave trade that the Muslims sold went into Mexico, Central America, and South America. Only 6% of the Muslim slave trade came into North America, which then the white Christians and Jews fought each other over this issue and ended the African curse upon us black people. And we're free now. We were never free.
As a result of who?
Of white people. White Christians and Jews. The Civil War. The abolition movement. All of that America struggled with over the existence of slaves in this country. America, the United States did not start slavery. That's a misnomer.
Yeah.
The United States inherited the slavery from the British in 1776. The British did not start it. They bought it from Africa. With the Muslims.
But the Confederacy did enslave black slaves.
No, they held slaves. They kept slaves. They kept slaves. And that's what led to the Great War.
Yeah.
The war of all wars, frankly, when you think about it. That war is the very war, that was the pivotal war as to what civility, society was going to be like throughout the world from now on. That is the high water mark of humanity.
Are you concerned about blacks joining the Nation of Islam, for example, in the inner city?
Yeah, I'm concerned because that's like going right back into slavery. but look, when you think about it, black people went back into the Democratic Party too. It was the Democratic Party held as a slave. It was the Democratic Party who put the Jim Crow racist laws upon us that has destroyed us for generations yet to come. So we stupidly went back to them. So it would surprise me if blacks went into Islam. But however, I don't think they will. I think they're going to wake up. I just got back from Israel, and I was over there in December for 10 days, and I'm working on a documentary that is specifically geared to black folks to show, a side of Israel that the world does not see.
You came back from Israel?
From Israel, and I'm putting together a documentary to show a side of Israel, the people, all the colors and so forth, what's going on there that you don't normally see. And I'm gearing it specifically to black people and to Christians, particularly black Christians, to let them know that our heritage that brought us through slavery and the Jim Crow days is actually Judaic, Christian, Judaism. And the Christianity, Jesus the Jew, is all about being a Jew. We didn't have this faith in Africa. We gleaned it. God gave it to us, and it's freed us. We have no legacy with Islam other than slavery. That's the only legacy we know with Islam is slavery. We know freedom through Judaism.
But what's the difference, the fundamental difference in your mind between practicing Islam and practicing Judaism or Christianity?
In my opinion, Bin Laden is a good Muslim. I have much respect for Osama bin Laden and Simon al-Zawahiri and the guys in the Sharia law, the guys who are Hamas, Hezbollah, Al-Fatah. These are good Muslims.
Well, they're good according to the laws of Islam.
Thank you. That's the point. And these other Muslims are not good Muslims. And I've said that to Muslims, to their faces. And I said to the Muslims who were singing and holding hands with the Jews and Christians, kumbaya and carrying on, I said that you are not good Muslims and Bin Laden will take your head off because you have no business communicating and relating to Jews or blacks or anybody else. They should be dhimmis if they're not going to be Muslims. They'll cut your head off.
Can we invite?
So Bin Laden, and I said this after 9/11, on my radio show, is a good Muslim. These others are fake, or they're espionage agents pretending to want to get along with Christians and Jews and non-Muslims. But in actuality, they're slowly encroaching upon our society.
What is there in Islam which justifies these acts against non-Muslims? Is there a scripture?
The whole Quran. The whole thing is based on they have been chosen. Islam has been chosen as the what do you call it? The politic that the world is supposed to live by. They believe that Allah, as God, has ordained them to execute the justice and judgment of Allah to those who refuse to bend the knee to Allah through the message of the Prophet Muhammad.
Which rejects infidels, non-believers in Allah?
Yeah, particularly Jews. Particularly Jews.
And so
then Christians. Then the other people of non-Islamic faith. Particularly Jews, though.
So is Christian America safe from the Muslims who are now building mosques in 9/11 and throughout the...
No, we're not safe. Hindus are not safe. Buddhists are not safe. Atheists are not safe. None of us are safe if these guys have their way. None of us are. They told us that. How many times must they tell us that before we get the message?
But is this only from Arab Muslims, or does this also come from the black Muslim Farrakhan community?
The whole Islamic movement. That's if you're a Muslim, you must believe that.
Including...
If you don't believe that, you're not a good Muslim.
Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah, that Islam is the only way to God, and there is no other way but Islam. All the others foretold of the coming of Islam, foretold of the Prophet Muhammad. Jesus foretold of the Prophet Muhammad. See, that's what they believe. This year.
And does this mean discrimination is coming through this? Really?
Absolutely. And if you, it tells you in the Quran, anybody who can just read the basics or ask an honest imam, and they will tell you that the only way to paradise is through the way of Islam.
Do you think there needs to be some kind of a movement within the black community to resist Islam's encroachment?
Well, you know what I'm doing, God willing, if I get viral enough and explain to people our history, black folks will resonate with what they know is true within their heart. And not only that, but most importantly, God, who is the same God that got us out of slavery through Jim Crow, that God that we talk about all the time will move upon the hearts of my people to let them know that Islam is not the way to go, but Judaism, which equates freedom, is the way to go. Again, my people knew nothing of freedom in Africa. We were not allowed to have freedom of speech in Africa. You spoke and you thought what the king said, or the queen, or the chief, or whoever, or you'd be punished. We just now learned what freedom is when we came to America.